Close your eyes, and let the sea's whispers drift through your mind. I write this to you, though I know you will never read it. The waves carry my words nowhere but into the hollow night, and yet they demand to be written, for the heart cannot remain silent. I remember the last time I saw you, the sun spilling across the dock in gold threads, your hand brushing mine for just a moment, a warmth that lingered long after the world drew us apart. I am at sea now, far from that place, and every swell of the ocean reminds me of your absence. My hands, rough from ropes and sails, tremble as I hold this pen, as if the act of writing could somehow bridge the impossible distance between us. The wind presses against the ship's mast like a living thing, whispering secrets I can almost understand. I tell it to carry my love, my longing, my regrets. But I know it cannot. The sea listens only to itself, to the rhythm of tides and stars. Still I write. Do you remember the night we watched the lanterns float into the sky, delicate points of fire against the dark? I imagine them now, drifting along the waves, carrying my confession in their fragile glow. I want to tell you how every sunrise reminds me of you, how the scent of salt and pine mixes with the memory of your hair, your voice, the quiet strength in your laughter. I want to confess that even now, miles from your touch, I carry you with me as though you were stitched into my very bones. I think of the days when we walked along the cliffs, the wind tugging at your coat, the horizon endless before us. I wanted to tell you that those moments are eternal in my mind, that the curve of your smile, the tilt of your head, the way your eyes caught the sunlight, are things I have memorized with a devotion that frightens me. And yet, this letter will never reach you. A storm may swallow it, or I may lose it in a careless moment of fatigue. Or perhaps I will never send it, for sending it would mean surrendering to the world, to the cruelty of circumstance, and I cannot bear the thought that my words could be rejected, misread, or ignored. So I fold this letter into my pocket, feeling the crinkle of paper against skin, and I let the night wrap around me. I write for the sake of writing, for the sake of unburdening my heart, and for the hope, small, fragile, absurd, that one day somehow you might know all that I could not say aloud. Even as the ship rocks beneath me and the stars wheel overhead, I carry your presence like a lantern in the darkness. My love is constant, though the sea is endless. I hope, though I dare not speak it aloud, that your heart feels a fraction of what mine feels now. The wind has quieted now, and I sit at the edge of the deck, letting the gentle sway of the ship echo the rhythm of my thoughts. I remember the first time I saw you, standing at the harbor's edge, the salt on your skin and the sun catching in your hair. You laughed at the gulls that circled overhead, and I was struck by the sudden, impossible certainty that I wanted to know every part of you, even the pieces you didn't show. We met in fleeting moments, brief encounters between tides and time. Each conversation felt like a secret, every shared glance a promise whispered in silence. I think of the nights we spent watching the horizon, the stars reflecting in your eyes, and I am overwhelmed by the simplicity of joy. A joy that felt as infinite as the ocean, yet so fragile that it trembled in my chest like a bird too young to fly. Do you remember the way the lanterns floated one evening, drifting into the dark sky as if carrying our dreams to the clouds? I have never forgotten. I remember the warmth of your hand in mine, the comfort of your presence beside me, even when we were both silent. It was in those silences that I learned the language of your heart, a language without words, delicate and unyielding. I try to remember every detail, the curve of your smile when you saw something beautiful, the way your hair caught the light, the softness of your voice when you spoke my name. These memories follow me across the endless waters, accompanying each pull of the sail, each turn of the tide. Even as I navigate unknown seas, the thought of you steadies me. Your laughter becomes the compass, your kindness the anchor, your absence a wind that pushes me forward with both longing and courage. Yet the world conspires to keep us apart. I write these letters knowing they may never reach you. Perhaps they will be lost in a storm, perhaps swept into oblivion like driftwood carried by the current. And yet, even the knowledge of their probable disappearance does not deter me. The act of writing, of giving shape to the feelings that swell and threaten to drown me, is its own form of survival. In my mind, I wander back to the hidden alcoves where we shared our dreams. The lanterns, the cliffs, the gardens we only spoke of in imagination. Each place exists as vividly in memory as any shore I have ever known. I recall the conversations, tender and unfinished, filled with laughter, hope, and the occasional tremor of fear that we might lose what we had before it was fully ours. And yet, there was never doubt about the truth of it. The bond between us, delicate as it was, could not be erased by distance or circumstance. Sometimes I close my eyes and imagine holding you again, even if only in thought. The waves beneath me, the salt in the air, the vast expanse of sea and sky, all become a canvas on which your presence is painted, soft and luminous. It is here, in the quiet between tides and stars, that I feel the weight of our connection most profoundly. A tether stronger than any chain, invisible but unbreakable, stretching from the deck of my ship to the very heart of your being. The sea can be relentless, and yet it cannot diminish the world we created together in secret, in laughter, in stolen moments of shared light. I write so that this world persists, even if no one else sees it. Every line, every word, is a thread binding me to you, a thread that weaves a tapestry of love and longing that neither storms nor time can unravel. And so I write again, the pen trembling with the intensity of emotion, pouring out the truth of a heart that beats only for you, across oceans and horizons, through nights of endless thought and reflection. Even knowing the letter may never be delivered, I hope, foolishly, desperately, that some part of you feels it nonetheless, as if the universe itself has carried my words closer to your soul than I ever could. The night is alive with the rhythm of the waves, and I feel their pull as I write to you. There was a storm once, one of those sudden furious tempests that tosses ships like toys and forces the sky to bend under the weight of its own fury. I remember how the wind tore at the sails, how lightning split the horizon, and yet even amid the chaos I thought of you, and the thought was a lifeline. I wanted to hold you then, to tell you that no matter how far the storm carried me, no matter how the sea raged, my heart remained tethered to yours. But distance had already built its walls between us, and I was left with nothing but ink and paper, words that could not cross the raging waters. I write them now, each letter a fragile vessel that holds my devotion, my fear, my longing. Do you remember the last evening before I left port for that voyage? We stood on the pier, the air heavy with the scent of salt and tar, our hands brushing for one fleeting moment that felt like a lifetime. Your eyes glimmered with both pride and worry, and I saw 1,000 unspoken questions there. I wanted to answer them all, to reassure you that my love would endure, but words failed me. Only a nod, a smile, and a tremble in my chest spoke for what I could not say aloud. That night, I lay on the deck under a sky littered with stars, each one a quiet witness to my thoughts of you. I wrote then too, though those letters never left the cabin, bound by hesitation and fear of the unknown. Every phrase was heavy with longing. The memory of your voice, the warmth of your hands, the curve of your smile. I traced them in the margins of my mind as carefully as I traced them on paper, hoping the universe might somehow deliver my words where I could not. The storm arrived unexpectedly, as they often do at sea. The sky darkened to a violet black, clouds roiling like great beasts in the night. Rain lashed against the deck, sharp and cold, yet my thoughts remained with you. The ship trembled beneath me, but even in the chaos, my heart was anchored by your memory. I whispered your name into the wind, though the tempest could not answer, could not carry my words to you. Still I wrote. My letter became a raft, carrying my love through the fury, hoping it would someday find its way to your hands. And yet, even as the storm receded, the fear of absence lingered. I watched the waves calm, silvered by the moonlight, and felt the hollow ache of distance. I knew then that some letters would never be sent, some words would never be heard, and some moments, though eternal in memory, would remain forever out of reach. But even so, I wrote, because to remain silent would be to let the heart dissolve into nothingness, and I could not bear that. I write to you now as I always have, tracing the shape of my devotion with each careful stroke of the pen. The storm is behind me, yet its memory remains, intertwined with the memory of you. Every swell of the sea reminds me of the curve of your lips, the soft strength of your hands, the quiet courage in your eyes. And though the letters may never cross the distance between us, though fate may keep us apart, they are alive in my mind, a testament to the love that even the ocean cannot wash away. In the quiet after the tempest, I fold the letter, the paper damp from my own trembling hands. I place it gently into my coat pocket, feeling its weight, feeling the weight of 1,000 unsaid things. And as the wind dies down and the stars return to their vigil, I whisper once more into the night, a prayer carried not to heaven, but to you, that somehow, someway, you will know all that I could never voice aloud. I think back to the nights we spent walking along the cliffs, the lanterns we let float into the sky, each one a fragile promise, trembling in the dark, carrying our laughter and whispered dreams into the heavens. Do you remember how they wavered, dancing like tiny stars caught between earth and sky? I can still see their glow reflected in your eyes, a light that warmed me more than any fire ever could. There were secret gardens we discovered, tucked away from the world, where flowers bloomed in colors no one else could name. You laughed when I stumbled over the roots of ancient trees, brushing dirt from my sleeves, and I laughed because your laughter was as vital as the air I breathed. Every petal, every ripple of water in those hidden streams was a memory we carved together, invisible to others, yet luminous and eternal in my heart. I remember the quiet moments, the ones without words, when our hands brushed and everything else disappeared. A glance, a breath, a heartbeat, each small gesture more profound than any declaration. I wanted to tell you then, in that stolen time, that you were my compass, my anchor, my only certainty in a world that moved like restless tides. Yet words always felt too heavy, too fragile, to hold all that I carried inside. So I write them now, here in ink that will never reach you, but which allows me to speak the truth of my soul. The nights we shared were full of tiny wonders, the scent of the ocean after rain, the hush of the wind through the cliffs, the soft glow of the lanterns illuminating the curves of your face. Every detail is etched into me, a map of our love drawn in invisible ink across my memory. I recall how your hair smelled after a storm, how your eyes held the reflection of the moon, how your voice could quiet my restless mind. Even now, as I drift on distant waters, those moments remain, a secret constellation guiding me back to you. I think often of the way we spoke without speaking, of the promises we wove silently into the fabric of our days. Each smile, each brush of fingers, each shared glance was a thread in a tapestry no one else could see. And though the world tried to pull us apart, though the sea demanded my presence elsewhere, that tapestry endured, delicate but unbreakable, shimmering quietly in the corners of my heart. Even now, I feel your presence in unexpected ways. The whisper of wind through the rigging, the faint glimmer of sunlight on the waves, the echo of laughter in the crash of surf against the cliffs. All of it carries a trace of you, a reminder that our love, though interrupted by distance and circumstance, persists. It lives in memory, in imagination, in the silent spaces between one heartbeat and the next. I write to preserve it, to honor it, to allow myself to touch it once more, even if only in thought. Each word is a gentle stroke painting our story across the empty page, a reminder that even when we are apart, we are still intertwined. The lanterns rise in my memory as they once did in the night sky, carrying my love, my longing, and my hope, though they may never reach your hands. The gardens, the cliffs, the laughter, the whispered dreams, all exist in this unsent letter, a secret world that belongs to only us. I fold it gently, feeling the weight of what I cannot say aloud, yet daring to hope that someday, perhaps, you might sense the truth behind these words. And until then, I sail, carrying you with me, in every glance at the horizon, in every swell of the sea, in every quiet, solitary night beneath the stars. The sun has long since dipped below the horizon, leaving the deck awash in silver moonlight. I clutch this unsent letter as if it were a lifeline, each word a pulse of my heart, each line a breath drawn across the distance that separates us. The memories of you press against me now, insistent and tender, reminding me of all that was, all that could have been, and all that remains only in my mind. I remember the day we parted, the harbor bustling with the cries of gulls and the smell of salt and tar heavy in the air. Your eyes glistened with unspoken words, and for a moment, I feared the weight of it all would crack the very world around us. I wanted to hold you, to speak of forever and of the unbroken bond one felt, but my tongue failed me. All I could do was press my hand to my chest, feeling the thrum of love that neither time nor distance could erase, and step onto the ship that would carry me far from your arms. Even now, I can feel the hollow ache of that absence. Each wave that rocks the vessel seems to echo your absence, a gentle reminder of the spaces where your laughter used to fill the air. The nights stretch endlessly, stars glittering cold and distant, and I reach for the warmth of you in memory, finding both comfort and sorrow in equal measure. I am adrift, yet tethered by the fragile threads of love that bind me to you across the seas. I write to you now in the silence of night, pouring all the longing I cannot speak aloud onto these pages. I tell you of the nights I lie awake, imagining your hand brushing against mine, the soft sigh of your breath, the quiet courage in your eyes. I tell you of the storms that batter the ship, and how I call out to you into the roar of wind and wave, hoping impossibly that the universe might carry my words to you. The letter grows heavy in my hands, each line a testament to the love that has not diminished, though it cannot be shared. I remember the mornings we spent watching the horizon, dreaming of lands we might one day explore together. I remember the small victories, the laughter, the fleeting moments of joy that made life feel endless. And yet, the absence remains, a constant tide pulling at the edges of my soul, reminding me that love, no matter how fierce, cannot always defy the world. And still, hope persists, delicate and persistent. I imagine you reading these words, though I know they may never reach you, and I smile through the ache. Perhaps one day, somehow, the currents will deliver my confession to your hands, and you will know the depth of what I felt, the sincerity of every stolen glance, every whispered thought, every silent devotion preserved in the folds of this letter. The moonlight bathes the waves in silver, reflecting the tears I cannot shed. My heart, though heavy, beats with the rhythm of memory and longing, each pulse a reminder that absence cannot erase what has been truly felt. I fold the letter carefully, pressing it to my chest, carrying you with me through the endless night, across the infinite sea, in every solitary heartbeat that whispers your name. Even in this quiet ache, even in the distance that separates us, I am yours, bound by memory, by love, by the unspoken promise that though we are apart, nothing can sever the connection forged in those fleeting moments of perfect understanding. The letter remains, a fragile vessel of devotion, and I, a sailor adrift, continue to write, continue to love, continue to hope that somewhere, somehow, you might feel the echo of my heart. The sea is calm tonight, yet the memory of storms lingers in my bones. I trace my fingers over the folds of the letter, feeling the weight of every unsent word, every unspoken longing. In the stillness, I close my eyes and see you, the soft curve of your shoulders, the glimmer of moonlight in your hair, the laughter that once filled quiet streets and hidden gardens alike. I remember the way your voice would slip into the spaces between words, a melody that guided me through the darkest nights. Even now, across leagues of water and endless horizons, I hear it as clearly as I heard it then, a soft echo that steadies me when the wind threatens to topple my resolve. I hold that sound in my heart, letting it shape the rhythm of my breath, the cadence of my thoughts, the very sway of the ship beneath me. Do you remember the afternoons when we would sit in the gardens, silent but complete in our shared presence? A single glance, a brush of hands, and the world felt still. Those moments were not grand, yet they were infinitely precious. A stolen fruit, a hidden path, a lantern we let float into the air with a secret wish. They taught me that love is not only spoken in proclamations or promises, but in quiet, tender acts, in the soft resonance of laughter and the warmth of shared breath. I write these words into the night, letting memory carry me back to you. I write of the small victories and secret joys, of moments when your gaze met mine and I felt, in that fleeting connection, that nothing else in the world mattered. The ink flows like the tide, spilling across the page, tracing every curve of my devotion. Even as the letter gathers the weight of longing, I do not falter. Each line is a bridge, fragile but steadfast, stretching across the distance between us. Sometimes I imagine you reading this letter, though I know it will never reach you. I imagine the flicker of surprise, the warmth of understanding, the quiet smile that would cross your face. I imagine the silent acknowledgement that even when we are apart, we have shared something eternal, something that cannot be washed away by time or tide. And in this imagined exchange, I find solace, a balm for the ache that distance has carved into my heart. The ship rocks gently beneath me, a lullaby of wood and water. I let the rhythm seep into my bones, carrying me back to the hidden alcoves where we once wandered. Lanterns flicker in memory, gardens bloom with colors only I can see, and the laughter we shared hangs in the air like a delicate perfume, invisible yet unmistakable. I hold it close, pressing it to my chest as if the act could somehow transform absence into presence. Even as night deepens and stars wheel overhead in their eternal dance, I feel you beside me, not in the body that distance separates, but in the essence that distance cannot touch. Your voice, your laughter, the tender insistence of your presence, all of it lives in the folds of this letter, echoing between lines, lingering in the spaces between my thoughts. I write to honor it, to preserve it, to let the memory of us breathe once more. And so I fold the letter carefully, feeling the weight of unsent words like a stone pressed against my chest, and I whisper into the wind, into the silvered waves, that I am yours, that I have never ceased to be yours, that no storm, no distance, no passing of time can diminish the truth of what I feel. The sea may stretch endlessly, but even across its vastness, you are with me in every heartbeat, every breath, every trembling line of ink that binds us across the horizon. I remember the morning I left the harbor as if it were etched into the very marrow of my bones. The sun had barely kissed the horizon, painting the sky in soft hues of rose and gold, yet the warmth of that light could not touch the cold ache within me. You stood there, your coat fluttering in the wind, eyes glimmering with unshed tears that mirrored my own. I wanted to hold you then, to press my lips to your forehead and whisper promises that could never be kept, but all I managed was a trembling nod, a silent acknowledgement of a love both profound and impossible. That farewell, brief yet eternal in memory, haunts me still. I walk the deck now and feel it pressing against my chest like a tide I cannot escape. Every wave that crashes against the hull carries with it the echo of your voice. Every gust of wind seems to carry your scent, and I am swallowed whole by the ache of absence. It is a longing that has no name, a grief tempered by love, a shadow of joy that lingers even as the hours stretch endlessly before me. And yet, in the heart of that sorrow, I find glimpses of hope. I recall the nights we dreamed of distant lands, of sunsets we would watch together, of gardens we would discover hand in hand. I imagine those moments as though they exist somewhere beyond the horizon, waiting for us in a world untouched by the cruel dictates of circumstance. In my mind, I can see us walking those hidden paths, lanterns floating above us, laughter spilling into the air as freely as the tide. Each memory, each imagined scene, carries a weight both sweet and bitter. I write to you not to lament what is lost, but to preserve what is eternal. The way your fingers brushed mine, the tilt of your head when you listened with quiet attentiveness, the way your laughter lingered long after the sound had faded. These fragments, delicate and vivid, are all that remain of the moments we could not hold, yet in them I find a solace as enduring as the sea itself. The nights stretch endlessly around me, stars wheeling overhead in a slow, eternal dance. I write of our farewell not as a resignation but as a testament, that love, even when separated by distance and circumstance, continues to burn with a quiet, unyielding light. It is a beacon that guides me through storms, a compass that steadies my hand on the wheel, a reminder that though I am adrift, I am never truly alone. Sometimes I imagine your face, illuminated by the soft glow of a lantern, eyes reflecting both sorrow and hope. I imagine the unspoken words that passed between us, the promises that were never spoken aloud, and the tender courage it took for both of us to part without shattering entirely. These imaginings are both balm and torment, and I hold them close, pressing them against my heart as I navigate the relentless waters. Though the letter will never reach you, its pages carry the truth of everything I feel, the love that defies distance, the longing that refuses to fade, the quiet hope that someday, somewhere, we might exist together without the cruel interruption of time or circumstance. And in this knowledge, fragile though it may be, I find the strength to continue, to sail onward, to write onward, to carry you always in the unbroken rhythm of my heart. The sea stretches endlessly, silvered by the moon, yet within its vastness, your presence is constant. Each wave, each gentle swell, whispers your name, and I listen, letting the sound cradle me through the night. Even in absence, even in longing, even in the quiet ache of our farewell, I am yours, bound not by proximity but by memory, by devotion, by a love that cannot be diminished by distance. The night sky stretches endlessly above, a vast canvas of silver stars reflected in the gentle sway of the sea. I imagine you there, somewhere beyond my reach, and I allow my thoughts to drift freely, painting visions of what might have been, and what might still be, if only the world were kinder. In my mind, we walk again along the cliffs, lanterns in hand, each one carrying a tiny spark of hope into the heavens. I picture your laughter carried on the wind, mingling with the soft sigh of waves against the hull, creating a melody that fills the quiet corners of my heart. In this imagined world, we are not bound by distance, by circumstance, by the relentless pull of duty and time. We move freely, guided only by the rhythm of our hearts, by the delicate insistence of love that refuses to be constrained. Do you remember the gardens we discovered in secret, hidden away from the eyes of the world? In my mind, they bloom eternally, flowers in impossible colors, petals trembling with the soft glow of moonlight. We wander through them hand in hand, voices soft and playful, sharing whispered stories and secret dreams. Every step feels like a promise, every glance a covenant of hearts intertwined beyond the reach of fate. I imagine mornings bathed in golden light, your hand brushing mine as we step barefoot along the shores of an endless sea. We speak of distant lands we long to see, of cities painted with sun and music, of skies that welcome us without question. And in these dreams, the oceans no longer separate us. The wind carries only laughter and warmth, the tides whispering tales of reunion and gentle joy. Even now, as the real waves lap at the ship and the stars will silently overhead, I write these words as though they are a bridge to that imagined tomorrow. Each line is a stepping stone, delicate but firm, allowing my heart to walk across the distance that reality insists upon. I hold tightly to this vision, fragile though it may be, for it is the only map that guides me through the nights of longing, the storms of memory, the endless horizon of absence. I imagine your eyes catching the first light of dawn, reflecting curiosity, tenderness, and the quiet wonder that first drew me to you. I imagine the simple moments of joy, the taste of fresh bread shared in a hidden garden, the warmth of your hand pressing mine as we watch lanterns rise into the sky, the gentle murmur of your voice threading through the hush of twilight. These small wonders, ephemeral yet eternal in memory, sustain me in ways the sea never could. And in the quiet, between heartbeats and the rolling of the waves, I feel a truth as steady as the stars above, that love persists. Even when letters remain unsent, even when the world keeps us apart, even when the sea stretches endlessly between us, the bond forged in shared laughter, whispered dreams, and tender glances remains unbroken. I carry it with me, a lantern lit against the dark, a compass pointing always toward you. I fold the letter gently, feeling the weight of my hope pressed into the paper. Though it may never reach you, the act of writing it, of imagining our future together, gives my heart a rhythm it had forgotten in absence. I sail on, cradled by memory and dream, buoyed by the fragile, unwavering certainty that somewhere, somehow, the love we share endures, a quiet, shimmering beacon in the vast, endless night. The night is thick and silent, and the ocean stretches like a mirror, reflecting every unspoken word and every memory I carry. I trace the edges of the letter, feeling the texture of the paper beneath my fingertips, as if it could somehow contain the entirety of my heart. Each word written is a testament to what has been lost and what still lives within me, a fragile bridge spanning the vast emptiness between you and me. I remember the morning when the world seemed to shift, when the simplest gesture of your hand in mine became a memory I could scarcely hold on to. We were in the hidden garden, sunlight filtering through leaves in warm golden streams, and I had wanted to tell you something important, that my love for you would never waver, that I would carry you across oceans, storms, and time itself. Yet the words slipped away, fragile as the petals beneath our feet, and I was left with nothing but silence and longing. Since then, the weight of absence has pressed on me like the tide, relentless and unyielding. Each wave seems to carry echoes of our laughter, of whispered secrets and promises made beneath lantern-lit skies. The sea holds my memories tightly, cradling them in its vast, indifferent embrace, and I cannot escape the ache that comes from knowing some moments, once lost, may never be fully reclaimed. Even in solitude, I can see your face with vivid clarity, the tilt of your head as you listened, the sparkle of your eyes when you laughed, the gentle warmth of your presence that filled the spaces around me. These memories are at once comforting and piercing, a bittersweet reminder that even love most profound can be shadowed by the cruel hand of distance and fate. I write in the quiet, hoping the letter might somehow traverse time and tide, though I know it likely never will. Yet the act of writing is itself a kind of survival, a declaration that what we shared, what we dreamed, what we loved cannot be erased. Each line is a tether, a fragile connection binding my heart to yours, a light shining faintly through the fog of longing. I think of the lanterns we released together, of the hidden alcoves and secret paths, of laughter and quiet promises that existed only for us. These images rise in my mind like ghosts, tender and ephemeral, and I hold them close as the night deepens and the stars will silently above. Even as the sea stretches infinitely around me, I feel you here, in memory and in longing, in the spaces where absence cannot reach. And yet the ache persists. I am haunted by the knowledge that some moments, some words, may never be returned to us. The letters remain unsent, the gestures unspoken, and the dreams that we once nurtured together exist now only in memory. But I write anyway because the heart cannot remain silent, because love, even when unseen and unreceived, continues to burn with an unwavering light. So I fold the letter carefully, pressing it to my chest, letting its weight remind me that absence does not mean forgetfulness, that separation does not erase devotion. Across waves and winds, across time and tide, my heart carries you. And though the world may never allow our reunion, I hold on to the fragments of our past, the shimmer of our love, and the hope, faint but unyielding, that somewhere, somehow, you might feel the echo of my heart as vividly as I feel yours. The ocean stretches endlessly beneath the velvet night, each wave catching the pale light of the moon as though the sea itself were strewn with stars. I clutch the letter once more, feeling the curves of the words beneath my fingertips, each one a pulse of my yearning, each one a whisper of the love I carry with me across these endless waters. Tonight I imagine you here, though the distance is cruel and unforgiving, and the heartache familiar in its sharpness. I close my eyes and see us together on a quiet shore, the sand cool beneath our feet, lanterns flickering at our sides, casting dancing shadows upon the world. Your hand reaches for mine, a gesture that requires no words, for our hearts have spoken the truths that lips never could. The sea hums around us, the distant crash of waves a lullaby meant only for our ears, wrapping us in a fragile cocoon of imagined presence and fleeting eternity. Do you remember the nights we gazed at the sky, tracing constellations with our fingers and daring to name them after our dreams? I recall how your eyes shimmered, reflecting starlight and hope, how your laughter scattered across the heavens, echoing in the spaces between the planets. Even now, separated by leagues of water and the cold expanse of time, I feel those same constellations guide me, pointing toward a world where we might one day walk together without fear, without absence, without longing. The letter in my hands trembles slightly, caught in the rhythm of my heartbeat and the sway of the ship. I write not merely of memory, but of dreams yet to be realized. A bridge between the past and the future, a map of the love that persists despite distance. In every imagined gesture, in every tender smile, in every shared glance that exists only in thought, I find solace. Each line of ink carries the weight of longing, yet also the light of hope, delicate and enduring. I picture the soft warmth of your presence beside me, the brush of your hair against my shoulder, the gentle pull of your hand in mine. We walk along hidden cliffs, our steps synchronized with the rhythm of the tide, lanterns floating above like tiny stars released from our hearts. I imagine the air fragrant with salt and flowers, laughter spilling like music across the sands, and in that imagined world, the ache of absence fades to a quiet hum beneath the symphony of our togetherness. Even as the real waves rock the ship beneath me, I let my thoughts wander to these impossible shores. I imagine our voices mingling with the wind, carrying promises unspoken yet deeply understood, each one a tether binding us across the yawning distance. The night sky, vast and eternal, mirrors the space between us, yet it is also a witness to the love that refuses to diminish, a silent testament to the devotion that flourishes even in absence. I fold the letter carefully, pressing it to my chest, letting its weight remind me that even when the world separates us, the heart remembers. Every word, every imagined gesture, every whisper of thought is alive within me, a secret garden where our love blooms undisturbed. And as the stars wheel above and the moon casts its silver glow upon the waves, I whisper into the night, hoping that somehow, somewhere, you might feel the pulse of my heart as vividly as I feel yours. Tonight, I sail onward, buoyed by memory and imagination, carried by the rhythm of the sea and the quiet certainty that love, once found, is never truly lost. And though the night is long and the waves stretch endlessly before me, I am never alone, for you are with me in every breath, every heartbeat, every unspoken word that rides the tide between us. The night has grown deeper, and the stars burn bright above the endless stretch of water. I hold the letter against my chest, feeling the slight crinkle of each page, the faint scent of ink, as though it carries a trace of my very soul. I imagine you somewhere, reading words that may never reach your hands, yet still carrying the weight and warmth of my devotion. In this quiet, I let my thoughts drift freely, weaving together memory and hope into a fragile tapestry of longing. I think back to the mornings when sunlight spilled over your face, gilding every detail with warmth. I remember your laughter echoing softly in hidden alcoves, your fingers brushing mine in the simplest of gestures that carried the gravity of eternity. Those mornings were not grand, but they were ours, a sanctuary of ordinary magic that no distance or circumstance could ever diminish. Every leaf we touched, every secret path we wandered, every fleeting moment of connection, all of it lives in me, breathing quietly beneath the roar of the sea. Even now, as the ship rocks beneath me and the ocean whispers its lullabies, I feel you near. I close my eyes and see you standing on the shore, waiting, a lantern in your hand and a smile lighting the contours of your face. I reach toward that vision, knowing it is fragile and imagined, yet it sustains me in ways nothing else can. Each word I write in this letter becomes a thread, weaving me closer to you across the gulf of water and time. I recall the day we carved our initials into the trunk of an ancient tree in the hidden garden, marking the proof of a love that existed quietly, defiantly, in its own secret universe. I remember the soft breeze that carried your voice, the gentle rustle of leaves beneath our feet, the laughter that lingered long after it had faded. That memory, delicate and unbroken, anchors me, reminding me that even when we are apart, the essence of what we shared endures. The letter grows heavy with the weight of longing and hope, each line an echo of my heart reaching across the tides. I write of days I never wished to forget, of nights I wished could stretch endlessly, of promises that I dared to make silently in the spaces between us. And I write of the future I imagine, a world where the ocean does not divide us, where lanterns float in skies that carry only our dreams, where laughter and whispers can exist without restraint. Even in absence, even in the silent ache of separation, I feel the pulse of your presence. It threads through the rhythm of the waves, the sigh of the wind, the shimmer of moonlight upon the rippling water. In every movement of the sea, I sense you, a reminder that love is not bound by space, that absence cannot erase what has been truly felt. I fold the letter carefully, pressing it close, letting its weight remind me of the tether that connects us across time and tide. And as I sail beneath the stars, I whisper into the night, into the gentle swell of the waves, that you are with me always, in every memory, every hope, every heartbeat. Though the letter may never reach your hands, the truth it carries is eternal, a testament to the love we have shared, the dreams we have nurtured, and the quiet certainty that even across distance and time, nothing can sever the bond we forged. Tonight I continue to write, continue to dream, continue to hope. And though the night is vast and the sea endless, I sail with the unwavering knowledge that somewhere, in the quiet spaces between memory and imagination, you are with me, as vividly and as dearly as I am with you. The ocean tonight is a gentle lullaby, its waves whispering secrets only I can hear. I hold the letter against my chest, pressing it close as though it could carry the warmth of your presence to me. I close my eyes and imagine you standing there, moonlight dancing upon your hair, eyes soft and luminous, filled with that quiet understanding that transcends words. I reach toward you in thought, letting the imagined touch of your hand bridge the distance that the world insists upon. I picture us together on a silent beach, the tide curling around our feet, lanterns floating above like captured stars. In that imagined space, I fold you into my arms, holding you as if I could keep you from ever drifting away. Your head rests against my shoulder, a weight both tender and grounding, and the ache of absence softens beneath the rhythm of our shared heartbeat. Time does not intrude here. The sea itself seems to pause in reverence, and the world exists only for this fragile, perfect moment. I breathe in the imagined scent of your hair, the faint sweetness that lingers even in memory. I feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest, the quiet reassurance that we are together, even if only in thought. The moon glows above, painting silver trails across the waves, and in that light, I see every memory we have made reflected. The hidden gardens, the quiet laughter, the shared glances that spoke louder than words ever could. Each recollection is a star, each star a testament to the love that endures. Even as the ship rocks gently beneath me, I imagine the tides carrying our whispers to one another. I speak your name softly, letting it ripple across the water, letting it curl into the spaces between waves and wind, hoping that somehow you feel the echo. I cradle you in thought as though it were tangible, each heartbeat a promise, each sigh a testament to devotion that knows no distance. The letter remains in my hands, heavy with longing yet warm with imagined closeness. The stars above wheel silently, indifferent to the struggles of the world, yet they illuminate the intimacy of this imagined embrace. I hold you longer in my mind, letting the waves and the moonlight witness the truth that even when apart, we remain bound. Every line I have written, every memory I have cherished, every hope I have nurtured, all converge in this quiet moment where absence and presence blur into one. I whisper into the night, a silent vow carried on the wind, that I am yours, that my heart will navigate every storm, every lonely horizon, every endless night, until the day we can exist together without separation. I fold the letter carefully, pressing it once more to my chest, and for a brief, shining instant, the imagined warmth of your presence fills the hollow spaces of my longing. And as the waves lap gently against the ship, and the moon casts its silver glow over the world, I allow myself to rest, knowing that in this imagined embrace, in this delicate fusion of memory and dream, love persists. The ache of absence softens, the heart finds its rhythm again, and for a fleeting eternity, I am not alone. You are with me, cradled in moonlight, held in thought, alive in every gentle pulse of longing and devotion. The night has wrapped the sea in a blanket of ink, and the ship drifts slowly, cradled by gentle swells. I hold the letter close, its words worn soft from the trembling of my hands, and I let my mind wander to you, to the image of your face in every shadow, in every moonlit reflection on the waves. You are here and yet not, a delicate mirage that dances just beyond the reach of reality, teasing my heart with the warmth of memory and the ache of longing. I remember the first time I saw you in the hidden garden, where light filtered through leaves and streams of gold, and every sound, every movement, seemed imbued with quiet magic. Your laughter lingered like music, carried by the breeze to where I stood, heart caught in a rhythm it had never known before. That moment has never left me. It lives in every sigh of wind, every whisper of waves, every trembling line of ink I press onto this page. Tonight, the ocean mirrors my solitude, stretching endlessly in every direction, a liquid sky beneath the sky itself. Yet even in this vast emptiness, I imagine your presence. A soft glow beside me, the brush of your hair against my cheek, the quiet cadence of your breathing harmonizing with the gentle sway of the ship. I reach for this imagined reality, letting it enfold me like a warm cloak against the chill of loneliness, and I am comforted by the fragile, persistent truth that love can live beyond the constraints of distance and time. The letter becomes a vessel, carrying not just my words, but my soul across the void. Each sentence is a tether, each fold a bridge, linking my heart to yours despite the merciless expanse of the sea. I write of the mornings we shared, the hidden paths we discovered, the whispered dreams that existed only for us. I write of the nights when stars bore witness to our quiet devotion, and of the silent promise that though the world may pull us apart, the essence of our love remains unbroken. I see your eyes reflected in every ripple of moonlight on the waves, soft and luminous, as if the sea itself conspires to remind me that we exist together in memory, in hope, in dream. The ship rocks beneath me, a gentle cradle, and I imagine the two of us walking along the water's edge, lanterns floating above, our laughter mingling with the hum of the ocean, painting the night with invisible colors only we can perceive. Even as I acknowledge the ache of distance, I allow the mirage of you to flourish in my mind. I feel the weight of the past in my chest, the sorrow of unspoken words, yet I embrace it, for it is proof that what we shared was real, unyielding, and eternal. The waves whisper your name, and I answer silently, carrying our love across the tide, across the stars, across the very fabric of longing itself. And so I fold the letter once more, pressing it close, feeling the warmth of your imagined presence seep into my bones. The night is deep, the sea endless, yet in this fragile fusion of memory and dream, I find a solace that is both fleeting and infinite. For even in absence, even in longing, you exist, a constant beacon in the boundless night, the delicate pulse of love that keeps me tethered to hope. The horizon blurs tonight, where sky and sea meet in a tender embrace of darkness and silver light. I hold the letter against my chest, and the words feel alive beneath my fingers, thrumming with the heartbeat of memory and longing. I imagine you somewhere beyond the reach of these waters, and yet your presence is palpable, a warmth threading through the cool night air, a gentle glow mirrored in every ripple around me. I recall our first nights beneath a sky of infinite stars, where whispers of dreams mingled with the hush of the wind. Lanterns floated above us, tiny flames against the immensity of the heavens, yet they seemed vast in their promise, much like the love that quietly thrived between us. Every glance, every fleeting touch, was a universe unto itself, delicate and infinite, and I carry each fragment within me as a constellation of the heart. Tonight, the sea becomes a canvas, painting our story in waves and moonlight. I see your reflection in the gentle curl of water along the ship's edge, a silhouette shimmering with quiet joy and soft sorrow. I imagine our hands reaching across the waves, fingertips brushing through the currents of thought and memory, the pulse of longing beating between us. Even in this imagined space, the world's constraints vanish, distance dissolves, and the only reality is the love that binds us. I write of you in the letter, and as I do, I feel the lines extend beyond paper, reaching toward you as though the words themselves are lanterns floating across the vast ocean. Each sentence is a heartbeat, each phrase a breath, carrying fragments of my devotion that cannot be restrained by mere tides or time. In this, the letter becomes more than a message. It becomes a vessel of our shared dreams, a bridge across absence, a testament to the quiet, unyielding flame of our love. The night deepens, and the stars wheel above, silent witnesses to the devotion etched into every word, every imagined caress, every tender echo of laughter. I feel the weight of longing press against my chest, yet it is tempered by the sweetness of memory, by the knowledge that though we are apart, the bond between us is eternal. The ocean sways like a lullaby, and I let it carry my thoughts to you, letting the imagined touch of your presence soothe the ache that is both sharp and comforting. I picture our reunion in a world untouched by the hands of time, where lanterns rise into the sky and the scent of hidden gardens mingles with the salt of the sea. I imagine the quiet joy in your eyes, the gentle warmth of your hand in mine, the soft laughter that spills between us like music only the heart can hear. And in this vision, the letter is no longer just ink on paper. It is a vessel of our souls, a mirror of what has been, and a promise of what endures beyond absence. The waves whisper your name softly, a rhythm that matches the beat of my heart. I fold the letter carefully, pressing it close as though it could carry the weight of my hope across the endless night. Even in the solitude of the ship, even amidst the vast expanse of water and sky, I feel you here, a luminous presence cradled in memory, a delicate warmth enfolding me in imagined embrace. Tonight, the ocean and sky conspire to lull me into quiet reverie, carrying the love we share across every distance, every shadow, every forgotten moment. In this gentle fusion of dream and devotion, I find a clarity. That love, even when distant, even when unsent and unseen, endures as a light that cannot be extinguished, a song that continues to echo across the infinite sea of our hearts. The night sky spreads endlessly above, a quilt of silver stars stitched into the darkness, and the ocean mirrors the vast expanse, gentle ripples reflecting the quiet shimmer. I hold the letter once more, and its weight feels lighter now, as though the act of writing has carried some of my longing into the ether. I imagine you somewhere beneath these same stars, and a warmth fills me, delicate and radiant, threading through the cold of distance and the ache of absence. I picture us together on a hidden shore, the waves curling softly around our feet, lanterns rising above us in a dance of golden light. Each lantern carries a whisper of my heart, a fragment of memory, a promise of love that endures despite oceans and time. Your hand reaches for mine, and for a moment the world falls away, leaving only the tender certainty of presence, the soft rhythm of hearts aligned across unseen miles. I recall the quiet mornings we shared, the hush of the garden, the gentle sway of trees under sunlight, the laughter that lingered even after it had faded. These memories shimmer in my mind like reflections on the water, fragile and luminous, carrying the weight of everything I wish I could say aloud. And though the letter may never reach you, I let it serve as a vessel, a carrier of all the unspoken devotion, all the whispered dreams, all the love that refuses to diminish. The ocean hums a lullaby beneath the stars, and I imagine our voices blending with it, harmonizing across the distance. I see your eyes in every ripple, your smile in the curve of every wave, your presence in the cool caress of the night breeze. The letter in my hands is no longer just paper. It is the bridge between us, the tether that keeps hope alive, the lantern that illuminates the path through absence and longing. I let myself dream, fully and unguarded. I imagine walking with you along hidden cliffs, the lanterns floating above, casting gentle light upon our laughter and whispered words. Every glance carries a lifetime of affection, every touch a promise that even in separation, love persists. The night, the sea, the stars, all conspire to cradle us, to hold our devotion aloft, to whisper that no distance is too great, no time too long to diminish what we share. Even as the ship rocks beneath me, I feel a quiet serenity settle in my chest, a warmth that comes not from proximity but from the certainty of connection. The letter rests gently in my hands, carrying the weight of longing, yet lightened by the hope that love, once kindled, endures beyond the constraints of distance. I imagine the lanterns drifting higher, mingling with stars, each a symbol of our hearts speaking across the endless night. And as the ocean whispers, as the lanterns rise and merge with the constellations, I fold the letter with care, pressing it close as though it carries your heartbeat within it. In this delicate fusion of memory, imagination, and devotion, I find a peace that is both gentle and profound. The night holds us, cradles us, and even in separation, the bond we share remains unbroken, a quiet, shimmering certainty beneath the vast, starlit canopy of dreams. Tonight, I sail onward, buoyed by the rhythm of waves, the pulse of stars, and the tender conviction that across time, distance, and the currents of the sea, our hearts remain tethered. And in this quiet reverie, I let sleep come gently, knowing that love, infinite, unyielding, luminous, carries us both across the lantern-lit waters of memory and dream. The sea is calm tonight, the waves gentle as if they themselves have bent to the rhythm of a lullaby. I hold the letter one last time, feeling the soft press of each word against my palm, each sentence a pulse of longing, a breath of devotion, a heartbeat reaching across the distance. I fold it carefully, tucking it away, and yet its essence remains, infused in the air, in the stars, in every gentle ripple of the water that surrounds me. I close my eyes and imagine you, there in the quiet of the night, where the ocean touches the sky, where the lanterns we released long ago now float among constellations. I reach toward you in thought, and for a brief, infinite instant, I feel the brush of your hand, the warmth of your presence, the tender reassurance that absence can never truly sever what the heart knows to be eternal. The moonlight drapes silver across the deck of the ship, and in that glow, I see the outline of memories and dreams entwined, our laughter mingling with the hush of the sea, our whispers drifting on the wind, our unspoken promises held aloft among stars. Every moment we shared, every tender thought, every dream we dared to imagine together, all converge into this fragile luminous now, where time bends and distance dissolves. I let the night embrace me, letting its gentle darkness cradle my thoughts. I picture you resting beside me in this dream, our hearts synchronized, lanterns floating above like captured stars, the ocean humming a lullaby meant only for us. In this imagined space, there is no ache, no longing, only the quiet, radiant certainty that love, pure, unyielding, eternal, carries us across every expanse, every shadow, every sigh of wind. The letter is no longer merely paper. It has become a vessel of memory, a beacon of hope, a bridge connecting us through the realms of imagination and devotion. I whisper your name into the night, letting it drift across the gentle waves, letting it merge with the quiet pulse of the stars, letting it echo softly in the infinite spaces where dreams reside. I breathe in the salt and the night air, and for the first time in what feels like an eternity, I feel the ache of absence soften, replaced by a serene warmth that settles deep in my chest. I imagine your eyes bright and tender, your laughter a soft music in the spaces between heartbeats, and I know that even across oceans and time, across reality and dream, our bond endures, steadfast, luminous, unbroken. And so, I lay the letter aside, letting the rhythm of the sea and the gentle glow of the moon guide me toward rest. My heart is full, my mind adrift in visions of you, and sleep creeps softly around me, carrying with it the tender whispers of love, hope, and remembrance. Tonight we exist together in every thought, every heartbeat, every dream. And as my eyes close fully, I drift into the calm embrace of slumber, cradled by the infinite light of the stars, the endless lullaby of the waves, and the enduring presence of a love that will never fade. In this final quiet, I know that though the world separates us and the letter remains unsent, the essence of what we shared, tender, infinite, eternal, is alive in every heartbeat, in every dream, in every whispered memory. And there, in the hush of night and the lull of the sea, I sleep, carried gently across the lantern-lit waters of hope, devotion, and love.